Yes, people! Welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. We are here to talk about that Prem show. We will be breaking down the games over the weekend, and finally we can have a stream where we talk about football, man. When we talk about football, when we're talking about the games, when we're talking about Chelsea on the pitch rather than off the pitch as well. But guys, please make sure that you smash the like buttons because we have special guests join us today. We've got Rams coming, who's not very special, should we say, but has been on here in the past. We've got Rams joining us, and we have an Arsenal fan coming on the show today. Gunnar King, at some point, I did send him the link, should be joining us on the show today as well to go through this preview show. So Arsenal fan, Liverpool fan, Chelsea fan, all three fans talking about this weekend's games. Sure, it's going to be slightly heated as always. There'll be some disagreements in the way that we do it. But make sure that you smash that like button, guys. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new to GNA TV as well. On our road to 5K. On our road to 5K. Also, please share on your socials as well, guys. And before we move forward, you know what time it is. Let's cue that intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. And we are here. We are here to go through match day 31 of 38. Clutch time. From now all the way till the end of May, we will know, obviously, who will win the league. And we'll also be knowing who will be getting relegated. And also, most importantly, who will be making the top four. Who will be making that top four vibes as well. Over 18 of you here already, but make sure we get them likes up. Give me your thoughts in the chat as well. See some people here already. We've got A Poor Vibes that says hi, or H, would say hi. Big up to you, my guy. Hope you're well. Joe, the boy is here in the house as well. Big up to you, my guy. Hope you are well, my man. So Rams is running late. He will be joining us around 12:15. And Gunnar King, he should be coming soon, hopefully. You know, he did respond back saying that he's going to join us. So let's see if he does as well. But in the meantime, guys, we're not going to be here talking too much about Chelsea. But I will, while we're on the subject, quickly mention what's happening this weekend in regards to Chelsea Football Club. What is happening in regards to Chelsea before we get into the Prem show? So, to let everyone know, there will be a meetup on Saturday at 12 p.m. at Stamford Bridge, which is the match day of Chelsea versus Brentford. I am going to that game anyway. I will be there. I will make sure I'm there early as well. Let's get our voices heard. Retweet and share on all of your socials. Continue to push the agenda. Continue to push to protect this football club. We can no longer just stand around. We must now stand together. Hashtag no rickets protests. Saturday, 2nd of April, 12 o'clock. Pen that into your things if you can, because if you are available, make sure that you come in as well. The protest against the Ricketts family and the bid for Chelsea Football Club is based on the following. Pete Ricketts, the problem I have with you people when addressing black community leaders back in 2020, one of the comments. In leaked emails, Joe Ricketts claims that Muslims were enemies and the Islam is a thing of evil and not religion. The leaked emails are included denouncing Islam as a cult and mocking racist jokes. Number 3, Todd Ricketts referred to COVID-19 as the Kung Flu weeks before the former president Donald Trump's rally as well. Also, Pete Ricketts is also against same-sex marriage. One second, let me just take this off because this is going to annoy the hell out of me in the background. I'll come back to that. It's work. See you later, work. I'm on a stream. Oh, where'd it go? So same work with LGBTQ community when speaking in 2013 about Laura Ricketts, a leader in Chicago's gay right movement. He said, "My sister is gay, but I disagree with her on this issue." That's Pete Ricketts for you right there. Despite Pete reportedly not being directly on the board, his public viewpoints being related back to Chelsea FC and tarnishing the club image is of great concern. We believe that these points were overlooked due to the working relationship that exists between Rain Group and the Ricketts, a conflict of interest that has seen them make the shortlist, obviously from the Telegraph Times and Sport have reported. We therefore call on the government, the Premier League, and Chelsea FC to remove the Ricketts from the process. Remove the Ricketts from the process. Saturday, the 2nd of April, 12 o'clock. This will happen. So if you are around and you are available, please make sure that you might find your way down there. Barcelona buying the whole back line, like Aspie and Christensen. Yeah, it feels like it. It definitely feels like it as well. So there you go, guys. There you go. There it is. So you heard it right here. Saturday will be the protest day against the Ricketts, against who they are and what they do. So if you are available, please make sure that you head down, make your way down to the bridge and share your thoughts and voice and opinions on the matter. Right. We are here to talk about the game, aren't we? We'll talk about the games as well. I'm just quickly doing the same before we do that. Ram should be here very soon as well, so we'll be able to get into this properly. Right, let's pull this out. So there you go, guys. There's the news on that. But we are here to talk about football. Football in regards to this weekend. This weekend's football. And it's a very good match week of football. We've got the likes of Liverpool versus Watford, Brighton versus Norwich, Burnley versus Man City, Chelsea versus Brentford, Leeds versus Southampton, Wolves versus Aston Villa, Manchester United versus Leicester City, West Ham versus Everton as well, Tottenham versus Newcastle, and Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Sorry, guys, I just got a message coming. 2 seconds. Sorry, guys, I'm just literally writing a text to someone. 2 seconds. Yeah, sorry, guys. So, have you heard from many people going, Jem? Yeah, there's loads of people going. And when I talk about loads, I'm talking about the YouTubers. So the likes of Mo Kassim from Blue Lounge. I think Matisse is going down there. Grandam, I'm not too sure on. Like, there's a number of people going down there and airing their thoughts on this. So I'm meeting a couple of people for the first time as well. Great timing to do so as well. Big up to Chelsea fan as well. So big up, Jim. I will be there on Saturday. Good to hear the support that's coming in to this football club as well. We've got Ram here with us. Ram, how are we doing, my man? Oh, he's not ready.
Hang on. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good, man. I'm good. Just my laptop is just restarting itself, so everything's just a little bit glitchy for me. So, but everything's good, man.
It is a big month coming for us, TJ. You know, we're still unsure in our owners. There's a lot of football to still be played for. We've still got to try and solidify third. Could potentially catch Liverpool up in second.
Big month for you. You.
Yeah, why?
Compare it to us. Our month.
You got an owner, mate. What are you talking about? We ain't got an owner.
Bro, I'm just talking about everything. We've got the Champions League. We've got the league to be concerned of. We've got the FA Cup semi-final. We've got so much shit.
What do you think Chelsea
have got? Huh?
What do you think Chelsea have got?
You only got semi-final.
Got FA Cups. Got Champions League.
You're not playing for the league, though.
It doesn't matter. It's one thing.
You're not
we got an owner situation to deal with.
You're not playing for the league.
We've got enough to play for than you guys. Who gives a shit?
No, you don't. We have 3 things to play. Well, technically it's 4 because we already won one.
No, man.
But we've got a massive month ourselves. You're not the only one.
Yeah, but the truth is, no one cares about Liverpool. That's the thing. You know?
No one gives a shit about Chelsea, as we're gonna find out when Gunner King comes on.
You do give a shit about Chelsea. That's the problem.
No, I don't. I don't give a shit. People
Put it in your head.
think because I come onto this stream,
You do.
a Chelsea stream, I give a shit. No, I don't. You guys are just so fucking funny. I'm sorry.
I don't know
You
what's so
guys are
funny about us. We just get on with our lives. It's just funny how when we lost our owners, all of the rival fans come out and hey, you're gonna go downhill. You're gonna be
Because it's
fifth.
funny. It's funny
Yeah,
because you
but
gave
then
it the
don't,
big.
but
You
don't say
gave it the
that.
big in.
Wait a
Now
sec.
we
Don't
get to.
say that Chelsea fans don't fucking that Chelsea fans are the rival fans are as bad. Rival fans give it as much as they take it. So let's be serious. It's not just
Nah,
Chelsea.
but it's just
They all fucking
always
do it.
you lot. You're
No, it
always
ain't nothing
obsessed with
like
the
that.
likes of Chelsea, with the likes of us, United, and
Why are we obsessed with
City.
you? Why are we
Because
obsessed with you?
every time I see my TL, it's always a Chelsea fan talking about Liverpool. Like it's so weird. Like you're trying to make this fake rivalry. It's not reciprocated. It's not
There is
reciprocated.
there is no rivalry. At the end of the day, I don't really give two fucks about Man City, Liverpool, or Arsenal or Tottenham. I just care about my football club and continuously winning. And the fact that I've seen my football club win it all, and number 5 elite team in the world has done it all. I get why you guys don't like Chelsea. Like we are the
What do you
most
mean we
hated
don't
team
like
in the
Chelsea?
league. We've
What do you mean
always
we
been
don't
the
like
most hated
Chelsea?
team in the league when it comes to yous, to the FA, to all of you wankers out there.
Have
Yeah?
you won a treble?
Come for us. Always
Have you
come
won a
for us.
treble?
You always come for us though. We must be.
Have you won a treble?
Must be causing you guys problems. That's what I'm going to
No,
say.
it's because
Have
your
you won
fan base
every
is
competition?
hilarious.
Have you won every competition?
Have you won a treble?
Have you won every competition you played in? No.
Yes.
Thank you. We have. No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
No,
Yes,
you
I have.
haven't. No, you haven't. Because
Have
we've gone through this already. Only Man
No,
United and
we
Chelsea are the
cannot.
two
We
teams
count a
that have done
trophy
it.
that's never
It
existed.
doesn't matter. You could have played in
doesn't
it, and
exist.
when it was no, it did exist. You just never fucking won it. That's
That
the
doesn't
difference,
exist
right?
anymore.
You didn't win it. We won it. You didn't. So that's how we move. Anyway, not going to sit here and talk to you. I've got loads to talk about,
You
and
ain't
I've
got
got
a
to leave.
treble though, so
I don't care about your treble, bruv. Yeah,
ain't
I don't
got
care about your
treble.
trebles.
no treble.
What are you calling
If
a
you're-
treble? Wait, what are you commanded as a treble? Actually, go on.
Premier League, Champions League, and a domestic trophy.
What domestic trophy was it?
84.
A
The
what?
League Cup
The League Cup.
in 84.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's your argument to a great treble.
I mean, it's a treble. It's a great
More
team.
than it's more than a double and 3/4 or a double and a half, really, isn't it? Let's be
And
serious.
have you won the Champions League back to back?
No. But how many
We
teams have won the Champions League back to back? That's
We
hard
have.
in itself. You know
We
how
have.
hard that is in itself.
We have
I mean, what year?
77, 78.
Oh, fuck off. You sound like Arsenal fans now. Fuck off.
I'm telling you facts. I'm giving you facts.
About
I'm giving you facts.
It wasn't even Champions League then, so don't even count that. It was something else. It was called the European Cup at that point.
It's
So
European Cup.
Champions
So
League and European
Ajax
Cup are
have done
two
it.
different
Bayern
things.
Munich have done it. Liverpool
Don't
have
even
done
try
it.
it.
Real Madrid have done it. The great
It's true.
AC
He's
Milan done
he's
it.
not in the elite group, mate. He's unfortunately he can't. Unfortunately, only the elite teams can be in the elite.
I mean,
group.
there's
That's
only
what I mean.
two
They're not-
elite teams in the whole of England, and that is
You know,
Liverpool and United. That's it.
our argument with you guys is cool, but I just don't get Arsenal's argument with us. Like they're irrelevant. They generally are irrelevant. I don't get how they can even come and say.
We'll wait until Gunnar King comes on. We'll see what happens, man.
What's he going to say? He's just going to just go around in circles to himself, talking. Like anyway, we're going to talk about it anyway. But let's get into the football because I do need to move as well. So anyway, match day 31 of 38, guys. We are going to review the games. I want you guys in the chat to get involved. Over 40 of you guys here. Make sure you smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel as well. We're going to start with Rams' beloved Liverpool against Watford. And yes, they are in a title race. They're on the same games as Man City now. They've got one point behind them. They've got they're in great form as well. They've won their last 5 games. I think they've won their last 6 or 7. I'm not too sure. I think it is a lot in a row. So, and they're up against a team in Watford who are dead. Let's be serious. 22 points, 29 games, played more games than Everton and Burnley. Not in great form. One draw, lost 3, drawn 1. I mean, you guys are at home as well. Ram, even though Mo Salah can't prove it on the world stage in football, he's going to come back and slap these guys, isn't he? Like this is what he's going to do. It's going to be like a 3-4.
I mean, Mo Salah took his team to the World Cup for the first time in 30 years. So
when I didn't see that
2018.
Yeah, but
when he's with us.
Did he get dumped out? And he missed the penalty?
I mean, he was injured. I mean,
here we go.
I mean, 2018 he was injured. I mean, he had his shoulder dislocated. So I don't know what you're talking about, but it's what it is.
Anyway, he's just not clutch, is he? Anyway, we move. Go on. What are we saying? Liverpool versus Watford.
I want to go for a 2-0 win to Liverpool. I'm gonna say there's gonna be a clean sheet because Ali's my guy. I'm gonna rep him for PFA Player of the Year. I think he should. I think this year of all years, it should be a goalkeeper winning PFA Player of the Year. I don't think. I thought there was a case for Mo Salah, but since 2022, he hasn't been doing it performances wise. Like he got the goals. He's got 3 goals in 2022, which is decent. I mean, he's all right. Seeing as though he missed the whole of January, but you talk about world-class plays, 3 goals. You have to have some performances, and he hasn't had those performances. Except with Alisson, Alisson's been performing. The whole of 2022, he's been very, very consistently good.
Yeah, but it's just not as good as Mendy, is he, at the moment? But
Stop it.
Anyway,
well, how many clean sheets? How many clean sheets does Mendy have?
Best in the world at the moment.
How many clean sheets does Mendy have?
It's not even an argument.
How many clean? No, it's not. You're right. It's not an argument.
He won the penalty shootout twice.
You're right. It's not an argument. It's Alisson's the best in the world. Alisson's the best in the world.
He's not at the moment, not in form.
He is, man. He is. You talk about all this stuff that Mendy's done. Alisson's done it with a Yashin trophy, which Mendy has not got. Mendy has not got a Yashin trophy.
When has Alisson won an AFCON?
Alisson's won Copa America.
Yeah, he hasn't won AFCON, has he?
So he's not from Africa.
Exactly. You don't say he won it all, mate. Yeah.
He's from South America.
God. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I mean, look, you guys are in great form anyway. Don't get me wrong. I think you guys are. You've really dragged it back, is what I'm saying. You've definitely dragged it up to Kesh in the house, man. I haven't seen him in a while. Up to my guy.
Send the link to Kesh. Kesh is our guy if he's free. Kesh, if you want to come on.
If he wants to come in, Kesh, just message me as well. Gunnar King's turned up as well in the backgrounds as well. So we'll bring him in to get his thoughts on Liverpool versus Watford as well. He is horizontal at the moment. He needs to turn his camera the other. That's it. There we go.
My thing's not.
There we go. Are you ready, Gunnar King? Are you ready? All good?
Yes, I'm ready, man. Let's go.
How you been, mate? How are things?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. Yeah.
Good to hear. Good to hear, man. So at the moment, we're talking about Liverpool and Watford. It's literally the first game of match day that we're going through. Rams gone with a 2-0 win for them. We was looking at the table and just basically saying, that Liverpool have really dragged it back. They're only 1 point behind Man City now on the same games played. How do you see this game, and how do you feel about Liverpool's chances of winning the league as well?
I think this should be a fairly straightforward result from them. They have had trouble with Watford in the past, but Watford at the moment are just they're in absolute freefall, man. They're gone. They're as good as gone. I can't see them stopping Liverpool from getting on the score sheet. I think probably 3-0. In terms of them winning the league, it depends what City turns up after this break, because going into the break, the momentum was only going one way, and that was Liverpool overtaking them. But I think the international break has gone against Liverpool a bit. I think it will be a chance for Pep to kind of get them on the training ground, take some pressure off them as well, and kind of work on a few things as well. Yeah. So I want to see City's next game or two. But I think if things continue how they did before the international break, I see Liverpool catching them, to be honest.
I feel that the fact that Liverpool have clawed back such a gap, it wasn't a massive gap, but the gap that they did, I do feel like there is a good opportunity that they may go on to, challenge for this. Do I feel that Man City will still win? I ain't as sure as I was a ton of games ago, not going to lie. But at the same time, you do have to look at Liverpool's fixtures list, and it isn't the easiest fixtures list from now going to at least the end of April when I looked at it as well. And there could be points dropped there. Don't get me wrong. Man City, from what I looked at, have got the easier run than Liverpool in terms of games to be played. So, yeah, for me, I expect them to win against Watford. I think Watford are dead in the ground. I said they'll get relegated at the beginning of the season as well. So, I'd go for a 2-3-0 Liverpool. And I think Mo Salah, even though he got dumped out of the AFCON and missed the penalty, I think he will come back and if he starts, get a couple of goals as well. So we'll see what happens with him. Gunnar, how long have you got? Because I know you said you ain't got long. How long have you got on here?
I've probably got until about 1. For some reason I thought you were doing a late night show.
No. It's always around this time. I always do afternoons, not too. I can't be doing it at 12 at night, mate. I'll get beaten up by people in the house. Do you know what I mean? So, oh yeah, it can't be happening. All right, look, let's move through it because I think Arsenal. Funny enough, Arsenal were the last game, but we will come to Arsenal a bit later before you leave, just to get your thoughts and stuff as well. But we'll fly through some of the easier games anyway, like these ones: Brighton versus Norwich, where we don't really care too much about them, to be fair. But Brighton are sitting in 13th with 33 points, but they've lost their last 5 games in a row as well, so they're not in any real great form. But against the Norwich team, who have matched them in terms of games lost as well, so they've both got the worst record in the last 5 games as well. When you look at it. Joint on there, but they're on 17, they're on 33. Brighton are at home. Norwich have been shambles pretty much the whole season. I mean, Ram, quick one on this one. What are you saying?
I'm going to go with the odds, man. I'm going to go for a Brighton win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Brighton. I think Brighton, they create chances. They don't have goal scorers, but Norwich is Norwich, and Norwich are in bad form. Yeah. I'm going to go for a Brighton win. I can't see anything else.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Gunnar, what are you saying, mate?
Yeah, pretty much similar thoughts. I mean, Brighton are like a decent striker away from being quite a dangerous outfit, but I think Norwich, they just can't score goals, and they just hemorrhage goals like no tomorrow. I think the home advantage will play massively into Brighton's hands as well. So yeah, I mean, I think it might be close, like a 1-0 or 2-0 or something, but I don't see Brighton conceding. And yeah, I don't see Norwich getting anything from this game at all.
Yeah, I hear you. 2-0 Brightons is what they're saying in the chat. AK saying Brighton need a Haaland. I think many teams need a Haaland, mate, let alone Brighton. So it is it is a funny one. But for me, yeah, it's either going to be a draw or a Brighton win for me. I don't see Norwich winning this. I actually can see this being a really boring game, even though Brighton are good with the ball. Like you said, they have no end product, really. So I don't think they'll hurt Norwich too much on the other end. So I'm going to go with a draw, actually. I'm going to go with a draw, either a 0-0 or 1-1 on this one. So we'll see what happens. Burnley versus Man City. Obviously, we know Man City are top of the league at the moment. They're on 70 points, 1 point ahead of Liverpool. Their goal difference isn't as good as Liverpool's, who have got 5 more goals than them as well. But they're up against a... they're up against, I forgot, well, Burnley. They're up against Burnley. So they're up against the Burnley team who are, 19th, lost 3, won 1, and drawn 1, 21 points, minus 16 goal difference. And I know Burnley are at home, Rams, and we've seen them cause Liverpool some problems there. But are they going to do anything to stop this Man City team?
I said this like a couple of weeks ago. I think Burnley's going to be a tougher test than Crystal Palace. That was my sort of weird shout. The main factor for me is Ruben Diaz is not fit, and it's going to be John Stones against Laporta. John Stones and Laporta against Wout Weghorst, which is going to be a interesting battle.
Yeah.
You know what? This is coming out of straight hope. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
You are definitely open, mate.
That's a reach. Yeah,
that is a really reach. I tell you, Gunnar, what's your thoughts on Rams' comments and in this game?
I've heard a lot of Liverpool fans say this. I think obviously United drew there. We struggled, only just about beaten 1-0.
We struggled as well.
They turn up against top teams at home, but I can't see City losing this game. I just can't. Like I think they're gonna have a point to prove. That's the thing. I think the last couple of games going into the break, as I said, I think Pep would have really knuckled down on them in training. The ones that remain that weren't on international duty. And yeah, I think Sterling as well getting a couple of goals. Well, getting for England, I think will do his confidence the world of good.
Yeah.
I don't know why he was being left out of the side in the run up to the international break as well. Grealish as well, performing well. I think things like this are going to boost the confidence of these players. I expect them to win against Burnley.
Just on that, A couple of Burnley players I know for a fact will want to have something to prove because obviously the Chelsea game, they were shocking. They were so shit. It was like the shittest performance I've ever seen in my life.
Just too good.
No, you weren't. They should have scored that. They missed an open goal for goodness sake. How can you miss an open goal?
We deserve that game. We're better than it. But anyway,
But people I know for a fact Wout Weghorst wasn't with the Dutch team, and he might have something to prove, saying like, Louis van Gaal, you're keeping me out of the team. I'm going to show up against City, and I'm going to say Wagwan. What are you going to do now? You got to pick me for the World Cup. So I think a lot of Burnley players like Wout Weghorst, might have something to prove. Obviously, Nick Pope as well, England team. He wants to try and crack into that England squad. He might have a brilliant game. He normally has a brilliant game against a big club. So yeah, I think it's gonna be tight. Hoping it's gonna be tight.
I think Man City win this. I'm not going to lie, and I think it's going to be like a 2 or a 3-0. I just think if they get the early goal, which I expect them to do 20, 30 minutes in, I think they'll just blow them away. It just depends how long can Burnley contain them. How long can Burnley stop them from getting that goal? If they can hold it to half time 0-0, which would shock me, then maybe there's an opportunity there because the pressure will be on Man City. The pressure will be on Man City to now not drop points and win games. So it's just how long can Burnley stay in the game? I don't think it. I just think this Man City team at the moment is still too good to not at least put one past them, like I said in that first half. So we have to see what happens. But I'm going with a 2-0 Man City on this one. Chelsea, who I'm going to this game. Chelsea versus Brentford. Protests, guys. There's over 75 of you. Make sure you smash the like button. Sorry, over 80 of you. Make sure you smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel as well. On our road to 5k subscribers. Chelsea are hosting protests at Stamford Bridge at 12 o'clock on the weekend to the Nota Ricketts. So that will be happening before the game. Ram, Chelsea are sitting in third. They're in good form at the moment. They've won the last 5 games on 59 points.
Luckily.
Huh?
Luckily won those 5 games.
What are you talking about? We won them 5 games. So we're on 59 points. And we're... I know what you're doing, Ram. I know what you're doing. We're playing against the Brentford
All I'm
team.
saying, people want to talk about VAR. Yeah, some of the calls I've seen on your games have been shocking. Have been absolutely shocking.
But you can't do this, Ram. You can't start saying that at Chelsea when you guys have had so much luck.
Exactly. So hypocrisy is hypocrisy.
You can't sit here and start throwing that Chelsea are getting lucky when they're winning with VAR because it happens to most teams. I'm not having that. Do you know what I mean?
So then you Chelsea fans need to stop with Liverpool with VAR.
What are you talking about? No one said anything. I said anything about Liverpool.
Look,
anyway,
all I see on the TL is Liverpool with VAR again. They paid the refs. They're getting random the Lukaku goal. I'm seeing this all the time.
That's just bad. That's just rivals for you. What is the point of rivals?
No,
do you know what I mean?
It's becoming an obsession now. Like it's really becoming an obsession. Like you guys can't just keep our names.
Anyway, let me finish with what I'm saying. For fuck's sake.
I was about to get the popcorn out, man.
Do you know what I mean? Anyway, we're on 59 points. Won our last 5 games, and we're up against the Brentford team. We were on 30 points. 15. Started off great at the beginning of the season, but slowly dropped off as well. Lost 3. 1-2. So would you say that they're in trouble of maybe relegation? Depends on how they kick on from now. In the next couple of games, could get dragged into it. They played a lot more games than the guys below them as well. So you have to see what happens with that. But Ram, on this game, now you can speak. What are your thoughts on Chelsea and Brentford and all the stuff that's happening at Chelsea at the moment as well?
Hopefully Brentford can do a job against you lot.
Of course. But the most hated team. Do
you know what? I'm gonna write a proper fairy tale. This is gonna be a proper story, like a proper story. Yeah.
Is this the one in your dreams you're gonna sing? All right, go on. Let's go. Let's hear it.
I mean, dreams is a bit too much, but I want to give you a story. Yeah, I like a good narrative. Chelsea tried to knock on the door and score a goal. Yeah, but they don't. Then Eriksen, after coming off a brilliant international break with Denmark, scoring 2 goals, comes
2,
back.
not even 1, just 2. You know,
he's not scoring against Chelsea now. I'm not gonna lie.
He does love a goal against Chelsea. Yeah, he'll score 1 banger and a free kick as well. I'm going for, and then Chelsea will get a goal back, but it's too little, too late. So it's 2-1 to Brentford. I know it's.
I wish I knew you was going to do that. I would have said blooming 4-0 to Watford now, to be honest, with your bullshit that you can come out with. But anyway, enough of that bullshit. Gunner King, Chelsea, Brentford. What's your thoughts on it all? I mean, you guys are what? How far are you guys from behind us? Let's have a look. You're not far, are you?
5 points? No.
Points.
Yeah, 5 points.
5 points. I mean, what are you looking at? I mean, talk about Chelsea, but as an Arsenal fan looking at Chelsea, are you looking to catch us, or are you just looking at that fourth spot at the moment as well?
I'd love to catch Chelsea. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to catch Chelsea. I think, you know, what Rams might have said about being lucky, there might be an element of truth in it, but at the same time, you make your own luck. You look at the games that Chelsea have played, they're creating chances more now. Havertz is turning it on. James is returning from fitness.
Yeah.
I don't think it's realistic to expect us to catch you. Obviously, if we do, you're going to know about it. But I think for us, it's just about getting in top four. Like, you know, if we can. I'm not really interested where. Obviously, the added bonus would be overtaking Chelsea, but it's not really concerning me. I'm more worried about that in the following seasons.
Yeah, no.
But as for Brentford, I hope they get relegated. Yeah, this can be my time moment. Yeah, I hope they get relegated. You know, I had nothing against them, and when they beat us on the first day of the season, look, fair play, they beat us. You know, obviously we had a lot of injuries and COVID and stuff. But then I hear Ivan Toney going on a Troy Deeney flex. Yeah, their manager, all of them start punking us. They start talking smack. Then I was like, listen, nah, fuck them. Yeah, like, you know, what is it? Ivan Toney came out and he tweeted, nice kick about with the boys. Yeah, and after we beat them, Lacazette, Smith Rowe, Saka, they all tweeted the same thing, word for word. Yeah. And after that, I hope they get relegated. So I hope, I don't know.
Man,
if Chelsea beat them, I'm not going to lose too much sleep.
You hope Chelsea win. You're actually saying you hope Chelsea win this time.
I'm not going to say that. Like, let's not be hasty. Yeah? Like, all I'm going to say is, if you win, I'm not going to lose that much sleep. But obviously, if you lose, I'd love it. I can't lie. Yeah? Like, you know, like it would give us a great chance of catching you, but we'd have to beat Palace as well.
I don't hold that against any, especially any Arsenal fans. If Chelsea lose, they're going to want us to lose to close the gap to potentially get third and push Chelsea more to fourth, and let us worry about fourth. Do you know what I mean?
That would be a disastrous season if you don't win a trophy and Arsenal finish above you. You're going to get a lot of smoke. You are getting smoke. I'm sorry. Title challenges and Arsenal finish ahead. I'm sorry, you deserve smoke.
Always an extra narrative with Chelsea. It's always like, oh, if you don't do this and you don't do that, you're gonna get this. That's what it feels like.
I'm giving you a scenario. I'm giving you a scenario. I'm just saying.
Anyway, fair enough. Look, I expect us to win this game. We should be winning this game. Our form says that it's very good. I agree. Havertz is in great form at the moment. I think he's the man that we should be building around moving forward. I do. I think he works in this Tuchel system. I do think that some of the forwards that we do have there still need to go in the summer, and we need to look to strengthen that area along with maybe some other areas. But we can't talk about anything to do with players at the moment because we haven't even got a fucking owner. But yeah, it's it's a game we should be winning at the end of the day. Even if we draw this game, I'd be pissed. You'd see me coming on here fucking slating my players because it's not good enough. It's beating Brentford. We need to grow that gap. Not just from just because Arsenal are on our case, but grow that gap in it for ourselves. I always said that the minimum for Chelsea is third. We have to get third. There's no fourths or whatever. We have to get third. Now hold that. And look, I don't think we can catch Liverpool. Liverpool, 10 points in front of Chelsea now at the moment, and they're closer to Man City. So it's about us doing our job and just concentrating on making sure we put the 3 points on the board. And then, just see what happens from there. Not worry about anyone else. Just make sure we secure third, especially with all the stuff that we've got going on at our club at the moment. It's important that we just continue to put our heads down on the pitch and get the job done is what I want to see, So, yeah, I'm going with a 2-0 Chelsea. I think Kai Havertz will score again. And we'll go Mason Mount. Why not? As he gets so much hate from some of the Chelsea fan base, which is a bit weird. But, yeah, Arsenal
it's really weird. It's so weird. Honestly, I don't get it. I do not get it.
It's because it's them Havertz fanboys, and Mount fanboys. They're just fighting over each other.
It
It's
is
so
weird, mate.
stupid.
It is weird. But we have a bit of a weird fan base. I'm going to lie. Carefree Lewis says Arsenal have no UEFA Champions League football. It was predictable they would overperform. He feels like they're overperforming, is what he's saying. They're
See,
big up
this
to
is
yourself.
this is an overfresh narrative as well, man. Sorry, man, my doorbell's going, but
No, that's all right. Go on, do what you got to do, my man. Do what you got to do. Big up to you though as well, Lewis. Nice to see you in the house. Let's move. Let's move from Chelsea, and we need to move on to Leeds and Southampton. Ram, tell me quickly because I don't really care too much about this game.
I'm gonna go for Leeds. Have got a new manager bounce. New manager bounce weighs heavy, man. It weighs heavy. So I'm gonna go for a Leeds United 2-0 win.
There you go. Leeds United 2-0 win. Guys, there's over 120 of you here right now, 30 minutes in. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel as well, because we're on the road to 5K subscribers. But get them likes up, because we ain't got enough likes. I've already checked already. We're not even on 50 yet. We should be over 50 now of 120 people here. So make sure you smash the like buttons, please, if you can. Jem, any thoughts on Rudiger secretly meeting with Barca for 3 hours? That's not true, is it? Because Matt Laws just came out. Matt Laws just came out of a tweet saying that Rudiger's not made no decision towards where he wants to go until Chelsea sort out what they're doing, basically, with the owners. So that
he's going to leave, though.
He's leaving.
Well,
I hate to break it to you.
Well, I don't. I think if the new owner comes in, the first thing they're going to try and do is tie down contracts, and I think he's probably the first person that we need to probably look at in terms of tying down. So I think they'll spend the money. They maybe spend the money that Roman didn't want to spend to keep him. I don't know, but I do expect the new owners to maybe do that. But look, he could go as well. You know, he could go. It's been looking like he's going to go. I just don't think we lose Christensen, Aspie, and Rudiger all in one season, because that means we've got 3 defenders to replace. That just seems a lot to do. Do you know what I mean? So we have to try and keep Rudiger moving forward. But Gunner King, get away from Chelsea. Leeds United, Southampton. What's your thoughts on this one?
No, I think Southampton will win this. Yeah, I think I like Southampton, man. That Broha guy you got on loan there, he's doing bits. That fullback, Kyle Walker, not Kyle Walker, Kyle Peters. Yeah, Walker Peters. That's the guy. He looks good. Southampton have dipped a bit in form recently, but Leeds at the back are just they're there to be got at. And yeah, I think Southampton will be able to pull off a winner.
Yeah. Sorry, 1 second. I'm
just saying, Brian, like, Rodrigo isn't Thiago Alcantara's cousin. His dad is his godfather, I think. Thiago's dad is Rodrigo Moreno's his godfather. So they're not cousins. Just to let you know.
And he did say that, Lewis, because I just see it about 10 minutes ago. I don't know where I saw it, but I did see it. I'll find it and send it to you on DM once I'm off this show, if you need to see it, mate. Broha brace is what Mohamed's saying as well. I think this is going to be a draw, but I think there's going to be goals. So I'm going to go over 2-2 with these two. I'm going to go over 2-2 on this one. Let's move on to Wolves versus Aston Villa. Obviously, Wolves are sitting in 8th, Aston Villa in 9th. One's on 36, the other one's on 46 points. Aston Villa's record's better in the last 5 games by winning 1 more game. Wolves, who were close to around here, 5th and 6th, have now sort of dumped themselves back out, but trying to fight to get themselves into Europe. So they are at home. Ram, they're up against your boy, Matty Cash. What are you saying?
You know what? It's going to be a boring game. I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw. I think it's going to be a case of Aston Villa create a lot of chances, but they're not going to score. Main problem with them is just they don't have a clinical goal scorer. The only time they didn't actually play well was against Arsenal. That's because Arsenal sort of negated all their creative outlets. Obviously, Digne wasn't playing, but Ashley Young was negated. Felipe Coutinho, Buendia, McGinn, and Matty Cash was negated as well. So literally, they had no form of creativity at all. This just shows how good Arsenal were that game. But again, bring it back to Aston Villa. I think it's going to be a 0-0 draw against Wolves. That's how I see it.
What are you saying, Gunnar?
It's tough to call, man. I don't know. Obviously, Watkins looked quite good playing for England, I thought, in the friendlies.
Yeah.
That might give him some confidence. I think he's a good striker. I just think they just need to get the right system around him. But they do have that more of an edge in the final third that Wolves don't have. But Wolves have got a solid defense, man. Like that Killerman's guy, man. I really like him. I don't know why he wasn't selected for England. Like,
does he play for Ukraine? I know his ancestry is he's from Ukrainian heritage, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's definitely eligible for England selection.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think maybe a draw's the right call on this, but I would say it'll be a score draw, like 1-1. I think.
Fair enough. It's a tough one to call, I think, because Wolves are very hard to break down. They don't concede too many goals as well. On the flip side, Aston Villa on the day can beat teams quite comfortably. They have the players to do it, especially with, like you said, Ollie Watkins, who seems to be in a little bit of form at the moment as well. So I don't know. This is a tough one. I'm gonna put myself out there and say that Aston Villa are going to win this 2-1. I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to go with an Aston Villa win. I usually always go for Wolves, but they've just been out of form for me recently. I don't know whether it's or what it is, but I like their manager at Wolves. I do like their manager. I think he sets them up well. It makes them hard to beat. And we'll see what happens there. Right, we've got 4 more games we're going to delve into quickly. We've got Manchester United versus Leicester City. Man United are sitting in 6th for the moment, 50 points. They're on 29 games. But they've won 3, lost 1, and drew 1. They're up against the Leicester team that's sitting in 10th. Massive drop-off for them when you think about their past seasons as well. 3 wins, 2 losses, 36 points. They're up against the Man United team, Ram, who are at home. The win probability margin says that Man United should win 63% compared to Leicester 17%. But I don't think Man United have been really pretty this season. They've not been good, have they? So could this be an upset again?
It could be, but I don't think so because I don't really think Leicester are going to be coming back anytime soon. I think it's that third season spell with Rodgers where it's like everything becomes shit. Like it happened at Celtic. Well, Celtic is very hard to judge because they won the league, but it wasn't comfortable for them. They had to work. I mean, I know it was the first time in like 7 or 8 years that Rangers beat them at Celtic. No, Rangers beat them at all in the league. So it wasn't plain sailing for them. You saw at Liverpool that third season where we finished 6th, that diabolical last game for Steven Gerrard at Stoke. So I think it's the same thing here. I think United is going to beat them 2-0.
2-0 is what Ram
I said a lot of 2-0s today.
Yeah, you've just gone for 2-0, bro. I mean, Gunner's nodding his head. Gunner, I mean, Man United haven't been pretty. They've dropped off as well. They've not been great this whole season. When I look at Man United, I'm a bit like, I don't really understand their style of play. I don't get them. I don't get what they do. I don't, like when you look at Chelsea and you look at Arsenal, I look at Arsenal and I know that they're a countering team. Like they like to play on the counter. Do you know what I mean? But when I look at Chelsea, I know we're a ball possession team. We'll keep the ball, we'll move it around, we'll move it slow, move it fast sometimes. But I don't know. When you look at Man United, I don't actually know what they do. So what are your thoughts on them and what do you think of this game as well?
United have been shocking. And listen, like the age-old rivalry that we've had with them, there's never been any love lost between me and United fans and United in general. Like I respect them as a football club, but some of their fans, right? The stuff that they were saying at the beginning of the season. Imagine we bought Varane for 42 million. You spent 50 million on White, yeah. White has been cleared every single one of their centre backs this season. No cap, yeah. They're losing this game. They are losing this game. I'm telling you, they're losing this game, right? Because at the moment, their midfield pivot is a joke. McFred, it just don't work. They came into this season, they thought, yeah, don't worry, we'll just get Ronaldo and Sancho to cover that up. How's that worked out for them? It hasn't. Yeah, so I think Leicester have got their number. I genuinely think they're going to lose this game. I'm not saying this to be wishful, because I know obviously it'll benefit us in the top 4 race. I have seen nothing in their past couple of games to see. Like, yeah, they've created a lot of chances, but they're not clinical with them. You know, like not clinical at all. And you know what's going to happen? Like, are they going to start Maguire? They're under this pressure to start Maguire because he's English and he's Man United's captain. And he captains England. Yeah, and it's like he's garbage. He is garbage. Like, genuinely, I keep saying this. I've been saying this all week. Someone at Liverpool needs to go Southampton and just pay the difference to make Van Dijk the world's most expensive centre back. Like, actually knowing that Maguire is the world's most expensive centre back, like, it's bothering. Like, it's triggering. Like, this guy is.
Yeah, we paid seven. Oh my god, these guys paid 85 mil. We paid
Have you
75.
Have you seen Man United? Have you seen Man United's wage bill though? Like, it is shocking. Like, it's not even just Harry Maguire. Like, they play some serious money. Like, it's not like they don't spend money. Don't get it twisted. The Glazers spend money. They just don't have no infrastructure or system to understand what type of players should come in to suit their system. That's the difference.
Exactly.
They just buy a bunch of individuals and just hope that individual moments. That's what they are. They're an individual moment. They always rely on their individual brilliances from players to get them out of games. They don't actually rely on their gameplay. That's what I've noticed with them. It's weird.
Yeah, they just buy good players, and I swear there's just like, you know, they just think that they'll figure out the rest, you know. And it's not like this has been a few years in the making. And I've been saying to them, you know, like last season they were piping up, and it was like, look, Chelsea started with Lampard up until Christmas. Liverpool had no defense and then no midfield at one point as well, and still finished 5 points behind you. Don't get ahead of yourselves, you know. You know, like they were talking about our transfer business. Like, I know all the rivals were like, look, who are these kids that you bought for 150 million? But it was Man United fans especially that were like, well, you got Odegaard, we got Ronaldo. You know, we've got Bruno, and it's like Odegaard's been just putting these guys in a box. I've been loving it, man. Seriously, I can't wait to play him on the 23rd of April as well.
I think
we're
going to slap him up. Genuinely.
Can I just add, Gunnar King? Do you know what's funny? United could have ended Liverpool's season last season at Old Trafford. They could have ended our season. Could have not gone as top four. It's that game against them at Old Trafford where we beat them 4-2.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
It was a massive game. It wasn't a massive game for them, but for us, it was massive. And obviously, the fans came on the pitch, got the game postponed and everything like that. It's funny how it was their chance to end our season, but now look at us. Because we got Champions League football, we end up getting the likes of a Luis Diaz, a Ibrahima Konate. If we didn't get Champions League football this season, I don't think we would be challenging for the league. So they literally helped us get.
Yeah.
They literally helped us challenge for the league this season. That's what I've got to say.
I'm going to go with. I know you got Ram that's gone for a United win. You've got Gunnar King who's gone for a Leicester win. I'm going for a draw.
I'll take if a Leicester win or a draw, I'll take either. Yeah, I want to see them suffer, man.
I don't know, Fator. You're the one that's got to buy them. These. I thought you bought flares already for Saturday.
Hey man, we don't condone this stuff. We don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to get in trouble.
Condone it.
We don't condone it. Just to let you know, anyone watching, we do not condone the use of flares at football stadiums. We do not do those things.
So I want to go because I know Gunner's only got 10 minutes, but I'd like to hear his thoughts on Tottenham as well quickly. But I will go to Arsenal. Actually, we'll skip West Ham and Everton, and then we'll go to Tottenham we'll go to Crystal Palace and Arsenal just in case he has to leave, and then we'll go to Tottenham after. If he's here, he can give me his thoughts on that as well. But I'll start with you, Gunner King. Obviously, you guys are in some pretty decent form. Won 4 of your last 5 games, 54 points, and you're up against a Palace team who are not bad, but they always find themselves middle of the table. It's just what Palace do every year for me, you know. So they've won 2, drawn 2, lost 1 away to Palace. They can be a problem on their day. They have them individual players that can, on their day, just give you issues. But I just feel that you guys are in such good form at the moment. So how are you feeling as an Arsenal fan about this game, and how happy are you with what Arteta's doing as well?
Well, I'm one of the few Arsenal fans that is reserved about this Palace game because I watched it, the home fixture, last minute equaliser from Lacazette, and listen, I watched them very closely. I was in the H stand, the season ticket stand, so I had like the side on view of the pitch, and Gallagher was comfortably the best player on the pitch that day. He was the pockets of space that he was picking up between our midfield and our defensive line. We didn't know what to do with him. Edouard, I mean, in the first half, we were completely dominant and controlled it, but I think seeing them, like, they've got stronger since we played them. Obviously, you know, did well against City as well. And over the years, they've been a team that we've struggled with. You know, like where we've dropped points against them, like not necessarily always losses, but you know, a lot of draws in there, and they're going to be tough. Like I think definitely, like we need to get an early goal. You know, and that Elise guy as well. He is electric. Like this guy,
is
man.
apparently injured.
Is he injured?
Apparently he's injured. He won't be playing.
That's a huge loss. That changes a lot.
Yeah.
That changes a lot. But I still think we're going to win. But I think it's going to be a very laboured win. You know, like a 1-0. Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough, a hard-fought victory. In terms of like how I feel about how Arteta's doing. Listen, I've never doubted him. The closest I came was when we got beat by City 5-0 this season. I've never been Arteta out other than that point, that moment of weakness. But, you know, I think what I've been impressed with Arsenal this season, I mean, people make a lot about, oh, you haven't beat any big teams. Last season, we did the double over you lot. We beat United, we beat Spurs and finished 8th. This season, we're 4th. Now everyone's like, you aren't beating any big teams. It's like, make your mind up, you know, like, to be honest, if we didn't beat a single big team this season and finish 4th, do you think I'm bothered? Do you think any Arsenal fans bothered? No. Of course we're not. You know, like, and when you consider, like, we've got the youngest squad in the whole of the league. The average age is 24 years old. Like, we've literally got, you know, if Cedric's not playing, Tomiyasu plays. Most of the games we've been playing with only 3 players over the age of 24. You've got a defensive partnership in Gabriel and White, who have kept 13 clean sheets in the Premier League together. That's combined with your lot. You've got Rudiger, you've got the Thiago, you've got Christiansen, Aspilicueta, you've got James, you've got Chilwell. Obviously, Chilwell got injured. You've got Mendy and goal. You've got class there. You know, like, and granted, you know, that Chilwell and that James injury has like done a lot to your defense, but they deserve some credit for this, man. You know, and all I keep seeing is you haven't been any big teams. You know, when it comes to the big teams, you know, you're benefiting from only playing 1 game a week. I'm not going to deny that there's an element of benefit from only playing 1 game a week, and the teams around us, like United and Spurs, haven't really turned up for large periods of the season. But Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Martinelli, Saka, they've got 41 goal involvements between them all season. The thing is, you look at Liverpool, you look at Chelsea, you look at City. Yeah, you've got good young players, but you've got good senior players around them to kind of help them. That you've got elite level managers to put them in systems that help them. These kids have got none of these things, and they are putting Arsenal Football Club on their back and carrying it into a top 4 race they don't belong in. And all I hear is 1 game a week. This, when you play big teams, that it's like, look, let's get some perspective here. These kids are shining. Like, it is scary to think that Saka is only 20 years old. Smith Rowe is 21. Martinelli is 20 years old. What are these guys going to be doing at 23, 24 if they carry on like this and we keep them together?
So, King, just a quick thing, because I always ask this to an Arsenal fan. I always get shut down for this, saying that I'm hating and stuff. Is there like an element of doubt that these young players could turn out to be like a Michael Owen where they just get burnt out when they're 24, 25 because of the pressure that they're put under at this moment in time.
The danger's there with any young player, right? But I think what you're seeing with Arteta, right? Arteta played when Jack Wilshere played. Yeah, and he saw Jack Wilshere rushing himself back from injury, pretending he wasn't, he was 100% fit when he wasn't. Jack Wilshere last season was let go from Bournemouth, age 29. At 17, he was playing against Barcelona, putting Xavi and Iniesta in his pocket and being told by those two that he was the usurper to their throne. So he's experienced firsthand, like what injury can do. He's seen what Wilshere's done in training. Last season, Martinelli, all of our fan base were like, why isn't he playing him? Why isn't he playing him? He did his cruciate ligament injury in his first season, right? It's almost like our fans forgot that. We had nothing to play for last season. So we thought, why am I going to risk the man? I'm gonna bench him, gonna allow him for this season, let him have a pre-season, and we're seeing the benefits of that this season. So Arteta is managing these players in terms of like keeping them out of the red zone, keeping them fit, keeping them fresh.
Yeah.
He's managing them really well. He's rotating them really well. The only player I have that concern with is Saka, because he's so important. Like this guy's got more goal involvements than any under 21 player in all of Europe's 5 top leagues. I'm gonna say this. He has been the best youngster in the league this season. Yeah, I'd say he's not better than Foden, but I would say this season, I want anyone to name me a better, more consistent player, considering what he went through in the summer as well. Like certain Sanchos, certain Rashfords have come back from that moment, of missing that penalty, and you can see it's affected them psychologically. This guy's just come back, and it's made him stronger. I genuinely think the best thing for Arsenal that could have happened, as crazy as it sounds, is him missing that penalty. Because so help me God, this guy has come back with like just this. It's
the mental strength, because in football you have to have moments where things don't always go your way, and it's how you react upon that that incident. And I agree with you. I think Saka's been very good this season. When you think about where Arsenal are today, which is in Champions League, Champions League position, he's been integral to that. He's been that important. Every game I've watched where when I do watch Arsenal, it's always involving Saka. Everything good seems to be going through him a lot of the time. And listen, you have to protect him. You have to, like you said, and I think what Arteta's doing very well this season, like you said, is he's managing them quite well. You don't always see the likes of ESR starting every game. You might see him come on in the second half, and like he's trying to manage them at the same time, answering Ram's question in regards to like the Michael Owen / Wayne Rooney. When you think of Wayne Rooney, when he got to like 26, 27, he was
well.
You could even put in Owen Hargreaves as well.
Exactly. He's good. Look, I still think that Arsenal, when I look at Arsenal, I still think to get to the next step, which is challenging for titles, which is going to come later on, I still think they need to strengthen the squad overall, maybe add a bit more experience into that with the current squad. It's also very important that they don't lose them players, them type of players. I don't see Saka going anywhere, don't get me wrong, but the likes of ESR, I think Martinelli is equally as important sometimes when I watch him. I think he's very good, Martinelli, as well. And Lacazette, even though I don't think when I think of Lacazette, like, even though I don't rate him that highly, he seems to be thriving from them all these youngsters sort of running around him and playing off him quite well.
This is the thing with like, to go back to Ram's question, I think whilst we're playing one game a season, we're okay. But if we get into Europe next season, we're going to need, either if Pepe's not stepping up, we're going to need someone that can give credible cover and competition for Saka, so he can be rotated a bit more. On the left side, you've got ESR and Martinelli that can play. Odegaard can play on the right as well, but you want to keep him in the centre. ESR can play in the centre as well. So I think we need to add a bit more depth to that right channel so that he's rotated a bit more. We'll have Saliba coming back, who I think will provide cover at centre-back. He can play at right-back. Ben White can play centre-back and right-back. So Tomiyasu, we haven't rushed back as well. After he got injured, Cedric's covered well. So I think
Tierney's good,
Arteta's
isn't he?
managing the players well.
Yeah.
But also, what I wanted to touch on was what you were mentioning about Lacazette, right? I get frustrated having to defend this guy, right?
Mm.
Is he a prolific goal scorer? No, he's not. But let me tell you this: in his last 12 games, he's got 10 goal involvements.
There you go. That's more important.
Ever since we've dropped over when we lost against Everton, our average goals per game has doubled practically. It was 1.2 before; it's now 2.1. Our shots on target has gone up. Our possession has gone up. Our expected goals has gone up. So as a team, when you have more possession, you defend better as well because the opposition doesn't have the ball and can't create chances.
It's logic.
What he's doing is he is the glue to like the front line. You know, like
Kai
he's
Havertz to Chelsea.
yeah,
Exactly
yeah.
in that way.
And the thing is, because he's one of those three senior players that I mentioned, him, Xhaka, and Partey, he's the technical leader, like of the front line. You know, like he's the experienced guy that people are like, oh, put Martinelli up front and do this and change that. You're completely going to upset the dynamic of the front four.
Yeah. Do I think that the Arsenal fans should be a bit over the top from what they're seeing? No, like I don't think they should be going like crazy about the whole scenario. Do I think that where they are at the moment is deserved? 100%. They've deserved to be where they are because you can see that they're being consistent throughout this, this part of the season. The next big question for me, and it falls in most youngsters, is can they consistently do it season after season? Can they continue to push the performance levels that they put in this season? These things are not bad things. When they have a bad spell or bad patch, shall we say, that's normal as a youngster. When you look at someone like Saka, who's 20 years old, these guys are allowed to have their moments in football. And that's why I get frustrated with my football club. Because if you don't play well for 3 or 4 games in a row, or 2 games in a row, it's he's crap youngster. We should just get Conor Gallagher in and get rid of him. Like there's no patience with these youngsters anymore, especially when they're playing. For
I think it's also it's the balance that some Arsenal fans. I think Gunnar King is one of them balanced fans that gives his personal opinions and doesn't have a lot of like bias towards it. But I hear some Arsenal fans, especially on them Twitter spaces, that just say everything's rosy. I think shouts of if we get 2 more players in, we're going to challenge for the league and all that stuff. I'm like, hold your horses. Rock for one
We're a
moment.
million miles away from challenging for the titles, and like the top 3 clubs, like your 2 clubs and City, like we're not as close to them as we should be thinking. Like we should be looking at United last season as a cautionary tale. I keep saying this to our fans, like United last season, they came into this season thinking the same thing. With 3 or 4 players off for challenging for a title. What they weren't looking at was how poor your 2 teams were for the reasons I mentioned. Like, Chelsea at the start under Lampard were poor. Tuchel, salvaged Chelsea's season. Like Liverpool, when they lost Van Dijk, when Matip was also lost, but mainly when Fabinho had to go in defence to cover these guys. And then, like that was really bad for Liverpool.
Then he got injured and Henderson got injured as well.
Like we've got to look at fourth as yes, we have performed to the standard of we should be there, but I still question any Arsenal fan saying that we've got the 4th best squad in the Premier League. I don't buy into that. Like what I buy into is there have been a series of other events that have been fortunate for us, and going into the summer, we need 5, maybe 6 players to be a team that would challenge for a title. Like we need more experience. We need cover at right back. We need 2 central midfielders. And I think 2 strikers. Because Ober's left, Laka might leave, Nketiah needs to go, and like you bring these players in. There's no guarantee that they're going to just hit the ground running like these ones have. So
you guys got a lot of dead wood that you don't really talk about a lot, like Nketiah. I mean, say what you want about Xhaka. I'm still perplexed that you didn't go for Coop Miners from Alkmaar last summer transfer window, because I think he would have been the perfect guy for what you want to play. You still got a lot of dead wood that you don't really like. Rob Holding is another one. Cedric, like you've got
Callum Chambers.
Callum Chambers has gone
No, he left.
free.
Yeah,
to
we ripped
Villa.
up his contract. Yeah,
You guys got a lot of dead wood that you don't want to talk about. It's very interesting to.
I would say Cedric Holding, El Neni, and Nketiah. Pepe, basically for me now, I'm starting to think, look, let's just call it a day. Like towards the end of the season, I think he's a good player, but I don't think he fits Arteta's system.
He's an impact player.
And I think we can do better there. But I think the main thing for me is we're going in the right direction, and it's good to see. Like, I agree. Like, I don't like seeing some of our fans get ahead of themselves, like being like, we're not two players off of next season. We could do what happened to United. Like we could take that full sense of security into our summer window, and it could completely screw us. I don't think it will, because I think Arteta's got the right people around him, like, kind of doing the scouting, doing the recruiting, Richard Garlick tying down the contracts. But yeah, I think it's going to be a huge summer for us. I think the season after and the season after that, that's when I'm expecting us to be in a position where we can mount the title challenge, or
that's because you're looking at the youngsters that are potentially going to be of experience with some of the seasons behind them playing in the way that they are at the moment, and that's fair enough. But it also falls down to how the Cronkies and Arteta strengthen the squad as well. This is another thing. So we have to see. We have to see what happens.
I think also Arsenal fans need to remember there are other teams around that are building for the future as well.
Yes,
people forget our squad, our second team is very, very young. Like Quavine is 23, Konate is 22, Joe Gomez is 24. Like Tsimikas is not young, but he's like 25, still relatively young. Like Harvey Elliott, 18. Curtis Jones, 19. And there have been talks about Fabio Carvalho. We've agreed a tribunal with him. So he's coming in at 19 years old. We've got a lot of youngsters ourselves that we are building for the future. And I think Arsenal fans, they don't really talk about it that much. I know for a fact Chelsea got a bunch of youngsters. City, people forget City have got a very, very good academy. Like Phil Foden's there. They've got this guy called, was it Liam Delap, like Rory Delap's son, who's actually tearing up. He's tearing up in the like Premier League second, under 18s. So we've got some very good youngsters. They need to remember that it's not.
Chelsea have only signed 2 players under Tuchel. What do you think they're going to do in the summer? They're just going to get a new owner and do nothing about that? Tuchel's never played with he's never used the back 5 as frequently managing any team as he has for Chelsea, and that is indicative of him working with what he's got rather than making players work to a system that he wants to use. And you've started to see him in recent games come away and use a 4 because he's itching to get into a back 4, so he can get someone closer to Lukaku.
We haven't got a DM though. That's the problem. We lack a DM. The DM will allow us to do that, but we need to cuddle people.
It's also
right. Chelsea, Liverpool, City are they're gonna do big things. It's looking like City might get Haaland. This Alvarez kid he's a problem as well. For us to be closer to you guys, it's not like you guys are gonna stand still, but we can get closer to you. But we're not Liverpool, 2 players off that. No way.
Chelsea are definitely going to be spending money. There's also been reports that we've been looking at Vitinha, Chouameni. So one thing's for sure, we're getting a centre mid in the summer because all the reports are saying we're getting
we're bringing Conor Gallagher back in apparently as well. Been told,
we're getting Carvalho, a centre mid. Hopefully Anthony if we can, and if we get a backup fullback. It's going to take a lot of time for you guys to catch up with us. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
no, unless they spend in the right areas and they go from there. I don't think Arsenal. Look, I don't think Arsenal are close to the likes of Man City, Liverpool, and maybe even us when you look at the experience side of it, because we have a lot of experience in
yeah,
that team.
that's the
But when you
experience
see,
in the manager as well is key,
and
man.
the manager, but when you look at how Arsenal can close that gap, for me, it's just right. It's like Chelsea next season, and I want to see Tuchel be backed. It's just finding the right profile player to fit your system and strengthening it in them areas. If they do that, you'll be surprised that they will get a lot closer. If they can continue with the youngsters performing how they are, and they go into next season kicking forward with the additions that they've got, and they settle in well enough, I think you'll be shocked with Arsenal. I do. I think you'll see that they're not going to be as far as people think. And that's me saying it. Apparently, I hate Arsenal. I'm the worst guy I know. So, I don't think too bad. Listen, that's why I said I've got a lot of positive things to say about them. As much as I get annoyed about their fans sometimes and the stuff they come out with, but it's rivals. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? The truth is, that Arsenal are in a good place at the moment. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? So we do need to move on. I mean, Gunnar, I know you said may have to shoot. It's 1:15, so I'm just giving you a heads up in case you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll just hang about for the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, Rams, quickly. What's your score prediction?
I'm going to go for an Arsenal win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Arsenal Football Club.
Cool. I'm going for a 3-1 Arsenal. I think they'll win. Apparently, they're missing Zaha and Oliesi, so they're two players that are very important into Palace getting anything. If they had them two, I'd probably go with a
draw or loss,
draw or 1-0 somewhere in there. Like, you know what I mean? Say it like that. But without them two individuals, I just think Arsenal will have too much of it, and they're in good form at the moment. So going with an Arsenal win, 3-1 on this one. Let's go to Tottenham quickly. Tottenham, Newcastle. Obviously, Conte's doing his thing, shall we say. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. They've lost 1, 51 points. They've played more games than Arsenal. They're 3 points, but Arsenal got the game in hand, so they're hoping that you lose a game, I'm assuming. But they're up against the Newcastle team who've really bounced back since the January window, when you think about it, because they brought in some good players in Burns and Wood and some other players that have helped. Trippier came in. So all these players that have come in have really helped strengthen them and pulled them out from 19th all the way up to 14th, which is where they're at the moment on 31 points. Now, Newcastle are away, Tottenham are at home. I mean, Gunnar King, as they're your, would you don't know if they're your man? I know when I talk to Arsenal fans, I ask them, I say, who's your main rival? Some say Tottenham and some say Chelsea. I don't know why now, but so that's falls to opinion. But are they your main rival for you still when you look at the derby side of things? And what are your thoughts on this season? Yeah.
I always say this, right? What people need to understand is there is, for me, and most people, there's 2 facets to rivalry. Yeah? Liverpool and United, the reason why their rivalry is the biggest in England is because they have both a regional rivalry, they're 2 neighbouring cities, and in a competitive sense, a competitive rivalry. Nice. They 19 and 20 league titles, 6 and 3 Champions Leagues. You're talking about the 2 biggest clubs in England, right? So that's why it's the biggest rivalry, because it's both a competitive and a regional rivalry. Yeah? In a regional rivalry sense, and with all of the history that goes with Tottenham Hotspur and coming to North London, I'm sat here in Tottenham at the moment. I'm like literally testament, to come into this area, seeing it and conquering it, because that's what we did, and they never forgiven us for that. So with all that involved, they are our main rivals. But in a competitive sense, they're not our rivals. They're not our rivals. In a competitive sense, Chelsea are more of a rival, and the fact that they have done things that we haven't, have won everything that is available to win, done the Champions League twice when we haven't. In a competitive sense, I am more concerned with Chelsea than Spurs right now. But obviously you can't forget the history between Arsenal and Tottenham, and in that sense, they're probably more of a bitter rival, if that makes sense. So the regional and the bitterness with the history, I'll always look for Tottenham first. But the fact that Chelsea, up until 2005, 6, 7, or whenever, it's always London's been red, and there's been nothing really to come up with any form of contention for that. Chelsea are that rival, But in between that, after Spurs, I just dislike Man United more. Like the Sir Alex Ferguson shit, like just like so. But with Tottenham, as much as I hate to say it, I'm more wary of them in this top 4 race than United at the moment. Like, I think Kane and Son are starting to turn it on. This Kulusevski guy that's come in, he's a problem. He's a big problem. Like, he's got Son and Kane firing. He's done it in big games against City. He turned up.
They got a nickname for him.
Yeah, like Bentancur's looking. Yeah, like this guy, man. I don't know. If there's one team that's concerning me and getting this top 4, it is actually Spurs at the moment. As much as I hate saying it, like, they have been hit and miss for like large parts of the season. They'll go win against City, make a DVD about it, and then forget the season didn't end there, and they'll lose to Burnley. You know, which I find hilarious. You know, like, but Conte, yeah, like obviously we all know what Conte is capable of as well. So I think Newcastle could actually get a draw out of this, but I can't see Newcastle winning. But I think Tottenham will win this game at home.
Yeah, I just think Tottenham have a history of like they're just underachievers for me. They're the biggest underachievers going for me. Like they build themselves up to say that they're on the same levels as like the Chelseas and the Arsenals and whatever else because they got Champions League for the last how many seasons and whatever. But doesn't if you're contributing to a tournament but you don't actually get it. All right, they got to a final against Liverpool where, let's be serious, they bottled it and Harry Kane had a shocker as well. I remember that. That was the worst Champions League final I've ever seen, by the way, with Liverpool versus Tottenham.
Awful.
That was awful.
All right.
Boring as fuck.
Just keep
Boring
it.
as fuck.
I mean, the outcome was brilliant for both of us, for like Rams. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm pretty sure. Like, the one thing like me and James will agree on is I can't imagine what life would be like if Tottenham won a Champions League.
Can you imagine if they beat you
especially before us as well.
They beat you to it against you. Oh dear, that would be funny. I'm going for a win. Tottenham. I'm going to go over 2-1. I don't think Newcastle will pushovers anymore. I think they're quite hard. We had a bit of a trouble with them at home at the Bridge. To be honest, they gave us a lot of problems. And they're organised. But no, they're organised. You know, they're playing well, and what they do quite well now is they press high. Like they'll come into the Bridge and pressing us, roll up the pitch. And I was like, a lot of teams just come and just park the bus and you know make it hard for us. But these guys are actually trying to have a game with us, and they gave us problems. I'm not going to lie, we were quite lucky with what the result we come out with. But Rams, what are you saying?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna back Tottenham here. I'm gonna go for 3-1. It's gonna be one of them games where it's 1-1. Tottenham get the second goal, and then they hit them on the counter, and 3-1 win for me. Yeah, it's as like Gunnar King said, the only team that's gonna realistically challenge them for top 4 is Tottenham. It's Tottenham out of everyone. They've got a great manager. I want to say he's world class. I still hold judgment. His European record's a bit shit, but they've got a very good manager and a very good team.
Well, for me, it just falls on who they got to play. And when I'm looking at it, I think it's more and more unlikely. Right, they'll beat Newcastle, but Aston Villa away is not going to be easy. Yeah, again, they can still win that. They'll beat Brighton. They'll beat Brentford. And then they've got Leicester, Liverpool. But I mean, no, other than Liverpool.
They'll beat Leicester. Liverpool, it'll be a tough one.
It's possible, actually, when you look at that, to be fair. They can get it done. I mean,
but
they still got to play us, and notice the Prem have not fixtured it. I think what they're looking to do is they want it to go until the end of the season for that game to be a shootout. Yeah, for top 4, and I think it could be.
Arsenal have definitely got the hardest, though. If you look at it, they've got Man United, Chelsea, and West Ham. That's not easy. West Ham away is a hard game.
Everton last game of the season. You know,
Everton and Spurs as well.
Relegation.
If Everton have still got something to play for, we haven't beaten Everton in a while for some stupid reason. Like they're just.
But it's Frank Lampard. Don't worry, you'll win this time. You know, like you did when he was manager at Chelsea, 3-1. I remember.
Hopefully.
I remember that.
But yeah, like that run there of United, West Ham, and Chelsea, that could potentially be our undoing. We
Well, you
need to
should
win
be,
all of our games before then, basically.
you could lose to Chelsea and still beat United and beat West Ham and still be fourth, I reckon, personally. Like, if you can, but you might draw with us, beat United, and I don't know, lose to West Ham. It could just go that way. Do you know what I mean? But I think you have to win out of them 3 games, at least one. And if you don't win another one, draw one. You can, if you're going to lose 1 or 3. If not, if you can get out with like 2 wins and a draw, then you guys have definitely solidified your position in top 4 for me. But that is definitely the period that Arsenal fans need to watch, I think, as well. So you got to bear in mind,
Absolutely.
Chelsea and Arsenal is going to be an interesting one, because we're going to be wanting to get away from you, and that'll be the game to get, especially if you're still up our asses, to get away from. So it's a lot to play for, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? In that sense, plus you've got the derby
Yeah.
element to it. So we'll see what
I'm
happens.
hoping with West Ham still. I hope they beat Lyon, so that they're still in the Europa League, and that factors into like balancing their squad.
True.
Hopefully that happens.
Well, West Ham have got Everton. They are sitting in 7th. They're still fighting to stay in Europe. They've only won 2, lost 2 and drawn 1. So they're not in great form in the last 5 games, but they're up against the Everton team that are just in shocking form. 4 losses, 1 win, sitting in 17th. Frank Lampard's really struggling to get them into, to play in any rhythm, at least put some wins together. But I don't know, Gunnar King, I mean, Lampard's struggling. West Ham, his form's not exactly great, but it's not bad. What do you think?
I think it's going to be tough, because West Ham, as I said, West Ham have got a small squad. They've got a few injuries at the moment. They are obviously the form team, performing better at the moment. Moyes is an experienced manager, but at the moment, I've been watching West Ham, and I think they've not been clinical with putting away chances. I think Antonio needs a rest. Well, he would have got a rest now on the international break. They rely on him too much for goals, and if goals aren't coming from him in the team, they struggle. But I think they'll win, but I think it will be really marginal. 1-0, 2-1, something like that. Because Everton might be a team in freefall, but they do have quality, in their team. Decore, Allen, Mina, Keane, Godfrey. These aren't bad players. Richarlison ain't the best. He's overrated, but he's not a bad player. Calvert-Lewin, he's good. They've got quality, and I just think they'll make it harder for West Ham than West Ham would like, I think. But I think West Ham will win.
Fair enough. Rams, what are you saying?
I think it's going to be a West Ham win. I think they're going to beat them comfortably. I think it's good. I don't think Everton are going to put much of a fight. And it's funny because, Frank Lampard, I think Everton fans were optimistic with Frank Lampard, but it just hasn't worked out. He's not good enough. I'm sorry. I know he's your boy, Jam, but he's just not good enough. He just took the job too soon. He's learning on the job. And for a team like Everton who's struggling and all battling relegation, you can't be learning on the job. So for me, West Ham are going to win. And plus, West Ham are fighting for something as well. There's a slim chance they get top 4. I don't think they will, but it's very, very slim. And I think they'll just take it and be like, let's go for it. So
I think this is going to be a draw. I'm going to go over straight for 1-1. I don't know why. I just got this feeling they're going to drop points in this game. And
because it's Lampard.
Well, it's a bit Lampard's, and the West Ham connection. I don't know. It would surprise me if West Ham drop points and Lampard gets a draw out of this. I expect West Ham to win. If they do win, it'll be 2-0. But if I don't know. I'm going to go over draw. I'm going to go over draw on this one.
I think West Ham are missing Bowen still as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
And he's, it's bad enough that they rely heavily on Antonio for goals, and and Bowen as well. I think, yeah.
If Salah wasn't playing this season, he would be a massive pick for best right winger in the Premier League, best player in the Premier League. Because he's gone properly under the radar.
Yeah, him, Saka, and Salah, man.
English Iron Robin for me. He got the hairline as well.
So
if you lose Salah, you should actually look at him. I think.
Yeah, we should, man. But people
you
want
can
to
have
go for
Timo
the
Werner
flashy
if you want.
toy.
Timo Werner?
Nah, I'm all right. We already got Jota, mate. He's already doing the job for us. So yeah.
We usually do the game of the week combined 11. I'm looking at these games and none of them are really making me feel like doing any of them. They're all quite boring, to be honest.
They're
Other
quite
than
meaty.
Miami, but Man United and Leicester, but even that's boring to even think of doing. Arsenal, Palace, nah. Chelsea, Brentford, definitely no. Liverpool, Watford, Burnley, nah. We'll forget. I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even
maybe next week. Maybe next week.
Next week, when the games are a bit better, we'll do a combined.
Yeah, Liverpool City combined 11.
100%, guys, 100%. But there you go, guys. There it was for you. The Prem show is back. It feels like we haven't done one of these for ages, right? We usually do them like once a week, but it's been so long in it with the international break and it's been going on as well. You've been unwell as well, haven't you? So you've not been about. Yeah. But it's been a good show, and it's obviously been good to have Gunnar King on as well. It'd be nice to actually have him on more as well if he's around at some points, and he can jump on again and give his thoughts on the game as well. But yeah, other than that, guys, is there any final thoughts you'd like to say, Ram?
Hopefully we win the league.
That's fair enough. And Gunnar King?
Mate, I just thanks for having me on. I'll definitely be up for jumping on a bit more. Started a new job, so I could probably jump on like if you do it at 12 most weeks. But the main thing I want to say though is United are in the mud. that's the first thing.
You know what?
I can't if we finish fourth and you lot win the Prem, oh my god, I'm just like Twitter is going to be a lovely place.
Well, if we win the quad and Arsenal finish above Chelsea, I don't know. I think Chelsea and City are going to be hiding.
What about this one? If you finich fourth, you win the Prem and we win the Champions League back to back. How about that one?
Nah, I'm all right.
No.
Why can't we? I can go down to the stadium again and have a picture on the.
Mate, I was literally talking about this the other day to like my followers on TikTok, man. My god,
you can't win the champs again, man. No,
if we win the Champions League again, guess who's coming back? He's back from the dead.
If you win it again, I'm going straight to the Emirates. I'll live closer now, man. I will just be stood there, just like listen. No, man. I don't know. Like Chelsea could do it. But
that story is that I was actually on Holloway Road because we was trying to find somewhere close to the stadium to watch it, and then some of the people that were going they lived in North London, so they were like, "Why don't we just watch the game there? And if we win, we'll just drive down to the stadium from there." And as they picked me up and we was driving through to this pub. We went round, when you get to a little roundabout where Arsenal Stadium is, the front bit there. We was there, and then we went right, and then as soon as we went to the end, and literally at the end of that road was the pub we were going to. And I was like, I looked and I thought, I ain't going to say anything yet because we need to win. Then we're playing Man City. And it got to 1-0, and I was like, we were sitting there, and I was like, guys, what should we do before we go to the Chelsea Stadium? Should we? And we got to go that way. And they're like, well, we can go that way if we need to. And I was like, all right, come on then. So then we ended up winning. We got pissed. We had shots and. Well, you can imagine, we got absolutely slaughtered. We jumped in the car and we went around that roundabout and we pulled up on the side. And that's when I pulled out my phone and started videoing. And then ended up getting 15 or 20,000 views on Twitter. Pissed off so many people, though. It was job done for me. It was just a trigger element. You know what I mean? Just to wind people up. And going, oh my God, you win it. And you went all the way to Arsenal to then go to Chelsea. No, it was behind me there. So I went from there to there. And then I went to Chelsea after. And that's where I started celebrating.
If we could clone like a hundreds of millions of Gunnar Kings to the Arsenal fan base, I'll be happy for them to get top 4. But because there's some Arsenal fans, especially on Twitter,
that's what it is.
Exactly, they just go so overboard. I'm like, you know what? I don't want you guys to do well. But then I see Gunnar King and Kesh, and I'm like, I want you guys to do well. I like
Gunnar King and Kesh. I even said to Gunnar King on Twitter, I said to him, he's one of the real ones. Like I got time. I don't listen to. I'm not gonna lie. I generally don't listen to many Arsenal fans when they talk on Spaces. I just come out because I just don't think they talk a lot of sense. Like a lot of them just come out of some shit. I know we have the same with our fans, but some of the stuff that I was listening to I went into a space. I don't know who it was because I must have followed someone. It was just all Arsenal fans in there. and they were talking about closing the gap to the league next season. They're seriously going to have a go, and it's going to work. And they can't wait till the summer because they're going to get Haaland, and they're going to get this. And I'm just like, what is going on here? Like, this is too much of my brain. And I was like, they're the Arsenal fans I have problems with. I don't have problems with Gunnar King and Kesh, people like that. I'm cool with it. I just don't like them Arsenal fans. I hate people that overreact too much. They just overreact.
If we win the quad, say if it does happen, I mean, the whole of the terrace, they're going to get smoked. They're all going to get smoked because I don't know if Gunnar King was watching us back then. I was getting a ton of smoke last season for what we were doing. We were like 8th and everything. If we end up winning the quads, I am sorry. Jem, Anita, KJ, Prime, everyone's getting smoke. I'm sorry, you're getting smoke.
Guess what? You said one big word. If. And it ain't going to happen. So, end of the day, just
say never, bro. Remember. The
lower I said you win the Champions League. I'm not too sure on the league still, and you've got the FA Cup. And
the lower the probability, the more likely we're going to do it. That's all I got to say. Whenever the odds are against us, we end up doing it. Just saying.
You're going out in the Champions League semi-final.
I actually think they're going to do it. I've said it earlier. Like, after they beat us, I was like, oh. For 60 minutes, we were the better team. But they firmed it, they just found a way to win. And
by the way, Gunnar, who would be your player of the season?
What, so far?
I mean, yeah, so far.
What, Arsenal's or the league?
Overall league. Because young player of the season is Bukayo Saka, no doubt, no one else.
It's got to be Salah, no? I can't really see it being anyone else. I know he's been a bit quieter in his more recent games, but overall, I can't really see it being anyone else.
I ain't gonna lie though, if Man City win the league, it'll probably end up being either KDB or someone like Sterling. That's the way I see it.
I don't know how KDB got it last season. Kane should have had it.
Kane should have had it last season. But I think for me this season, I mean, I said it on the terrace. This season should be the season where a goalkeeper should get it.
Mendy, yeah.
No,
Mendy's been quality.
Mendy's been quality, fast. But I think Mendy and Alisson should be in the conversation. I really do think they should.
Listen, if you win the league, Alisson gets it, doesn't he? There's no two ways about it. But
I don't, because the thing, my overall view is when Salah was doing his madness, Alisson was the silent assassin doing his thing. He was, because pick up the boys on Coppish because they're real ones, yeah. They did their player ratings, and every time Salah got a 10 or 11 out of 10 rating, Alisson's always had those 9 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s, 8.5 out of 10s, and then the odd 10 out of 10 here and there. So I think Alisson deserves to get player of the season this season. He's been our best player in terms of consistency.
I don't really see. I can't remember the last time a goalie won PFA player.
Never. I don't think anyone's.
Did Czech ever win it?
No, because John Terry won it that season.
He got in the teams of the seasons most years, but he just didn't fucking win the. I don't get it. Even the Ballon d'Or, they never get spoken about.
Schmeichel's never won it.
Is it? Did Khan?
Khan was close. Khan was close. It was Ronaldo that won it that season.
Was it Khan? Oh yeah, was it? Ronaldo?
Khan won second. Was second, didn't he? He was second.
Guys,
I think Buffon was top 3 as well.
All right, guys, make sure you smash the like button. Still over 140 of you here. Big up to all of you guys that have been in the chat as well. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow for the Chelsea versus Brentford preview show as well. And then we'll be rolling out the Prem shows each and every week. You'll see Rams and maybe Gunnar King if he's around. We'll get him on as well. If he wants to keep joining us, it's up to him. I'd like to have him back on. So big up to everyone.
Expanding, man. Forever expanding.
Yeah, we'll go from Arsenal and then we'll find a Spurs one and then, maybe a Man City 3 years down the line, but we'll see. They're like bats, in it. It's like going into a cave trying to find a fucking, do you know what I mean? And Man City fans hard, do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. Anyway, see you later, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace out.